Hello again, my name is Elizabeth and I like to sew smart, and you know that by sewing smart I mean sewing using the materials that we have in our stash or our cupboards, and today I'm going to sew something that's really good fun. Many of you might remember that in my Etsy shop I have a pattern for a double oven glove. Well, while I was looking through my stash I found this really lovely bright cat fabric. And I thought, well, I need to use it for something. So what I've done is I've made a new pattern and I've made it with cat faces. And as you can see, you can put your fingers up through the ears and get hold of your hot dish as you take it out of your oven or your microwave. And all it is, it's just two little cat faces on the ends where you slip your hands in. And today I'm going to show you how we can make that. But instead of using the ginger one, that was as near as I could get to a ginger cat, instead of using that, I'm going to use black and do a black cat. So you will need for this project, you'll need two pieces of your top fabric. One goes on one side, one goes on the other, and that measures 29 inches by 8 inches, 8 inches that way, 29 that way. You will need also two pieces of lightweight wadding and a piece of insulated wadding. Now the insulated wadding must be at least 9.5 by 8 inches. It has to cover the head of the cat. The others have to be the same length as your top and your bottom fabric. You will also need some scraps. I've just used little scraps of applique that I've got left over from other projects for the face, and this will be your face. You will need a plain black or a mottled black fabric, two pieces of that. Again, it will be 10-inch squares because you're going to cut out around it, and it has to be 10 inches so that you initially cut well outside, but you will trim those off as you go along. And just as I said, little pieces for your applique. And on the back I've just put scrap fabric from this. So just collect together your little pieces for your applique, your cat face fabric, the lining piece, and again you just got lightweight wadding in there, no insulation in that one, just lightweight wadding in between. Now the pattern pieces you will cut on the fold, and this is because when you download the pattern and for the actual sizes and shapes and applique pieces, this downloads better on your printers than a bigger sheet of paper. So everything gets cut on the fold. So if we fold this one I've got here in half, you'll see, pick that up, you'll see that is how we've cut the head out. And then we just open it up. I'm going to put it on a piece of thin wadding, lightweight wadding, and then I will put this piece, which is scrap, onto the back of this. I will put it underneath, so we'll put it that way. Pop that on there so it's just wide enough. This is also going to be all joined together. I will stitch on the applique pieces using the same colour thread. The outline for the eyes I do in black, as you'll see here. I've done right round there, I've done the green, I've put the little flash of what I call pupil in the middle there, as cats have. And when I've finished, I've put the earpieces on. When I've finished, I actually do this embroidery. Well, it's not embroidery, it's just a 3-stitch on your machine for the whiskers and for the shape of the top of the mouth. Now I'm going to take this to the machine and I am going to use a very close small zigzag to stitch on all my applique pieces, and I'm only doing it on the wadding and this top piece of fabric. When I come to do the top stitching here for the shape of the face, the whiskers and the shape of the top of the mouth, that will go right through to the back. So it will come right through to the back piece, and that will make your face, and then we'll come back and I will show you how the face then fits onto the glove. So I've stitched the applique on here, so I've got a nice outline, the nose and the tongue. Now I need this white piece and the whiskers there, I need the white mouth outline there, and I used just an old CD, this was one that came in a CD case, and all I've done is I line it up with the side of the nose and just chalk around there. Line it up again on the side of the nose, chalk around there. I've penciled in the whiskers. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect because cat's whiskers never are perfect. So I'm just going to top stitch this now in white. We're using a 3 stitch. I've got a little stitch on my machine that has 3 stitches that stitch all together like that. If you haven't got that, then you can just go over another line again perhaps. I'm going to do that, sew in the whiskers, and then I will, with the black thread, just sew on the inside here through all the layers on both sides. I've appliqued or top stitched all around there, and I have actually zigzagged very lightly around the edges. That's just to hold it in shape while I work on the next piece. Now if you notice with the original one here, it's got a piece of binding around there, and that's because constantly you're putting your hands in and we don't want that edge wearing, so this gives it more strength. So I've cut 2 pieces of binding and I'm going to stitch them on from just around to here and cut them off on both of these. Both of these pieces will have the binding around the edge there, just above this white piece here, and then cut them off. But before we can attach the heads, which is the glove section, to the bottom, we have to quilt these pieces. So we have the top fabric, which is actually on the bottom here, lightweight wadding, insulated wadding at the ends, just because that's the part where you grip the hot dish on both sides, and then the lightweight wadding again and the top fabric. And all I did with mine was I quilted down the middle. Now I did put a double line down there because that's where it bends. I just sewed a line halfway along there and equal lines along here, and that's all the quilting that you need to do on this. It holds together really well. It's important that you do quilt it because you've got so many thicknesses, and after you've quilted it, I suggest that you just go round again with a very loose zigzag or an overlock, because this is a lot to hold together, but you do need it, and once you've zigzagged around it, it makes it much easier to put your binding on. I've sewn the binding on. I've done it by machine on both sides. Make it nice and firm, nice and strong. Now it has to be attached to the top here, but as I told you earlier, before I do that, I quilted this and then I've zigzagged it around the edge, and if you can see, it's just much thinner for the zigzag. It will go under the binding much better. So I will put the head on, put it on the end here. You will lose a little bit of the face, but that's okay, and that's quite normal. That's intended to do that. I've chalk lined with a pencil around there. I will cut that section out so that you'll have just the shape of the top of the head. You can see the line perhaps there. I will pin it on, and I will just stitch around here and down the side of the face to begin with before I put the binding on, to make sure it's absolutely secure. The binding is about 82 inches, I think I worked out, that you will need to go around, but you will also need a 2-inch strip, and you will need to fold that into the center and into the center and fold it again and top stitch along here, because that makes this little tag that goes on the back of the oven glove for hanging. So it catches underneath the binding, so I will include that as I go around here and stitch my binding on. I will make sure that my tag is in the middle there. It must be in the middle for hanging halfway, and I'll catch that under the binding, and once we've got the binding on, we are completely finished and you can take your new oven glove to the kitchen. The binding is all on, the tag is in, secured to the binding. Now just one quick hint, when I cut the piece out here, it might help you if you stitch along there first and then cut that piece off of the main glove, because it sometimes is a bit easier if you've got a fairly lightweight domestic machine. But I'm finished now, and it's really very nice. The ears make a nice little finger and thumb grip for you to take your hot dish out of the oven, and the cat looks really nice. I have called this Cats in the Kitchen. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I've had great fun making this. I think it's really quirky, and as I said, I've called it Cats in the Kitchen. Now if you would give us a thumbs up and subscribe and go along to my Etsy shop, then you will find this pattern in there again called Cats in the Kitchen, and I hope you'll join me next time for another new project.